Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun, and I'm back. And I'm giving you blow by blow from the news people, right? Of everything that went on with Karen, how she was in the courtroom, how she looked when they were handing down her sentence, what Ray said, who was in the building, where is she going? Let's get into it.
Does it start right away?
It does start right away. I spoke to John McCarthy as we were leaving the courtroom, because I wanted to get out here, and the judge dismissed everyone, but she was still standing there at the defense table. And I asked John McCarthy, does this jail sentence, whatever you want to call it, prison sentence, begin right away? And he said, oh yeah, it starts today. So she's going right to jail. And the judge mentioned, he didn't say like the Montgomery County Jail, Montgomery County Adult Detention Center. He said something about, you'll serve this in the state of Maryland, something, and then he said here in Montgomery County. So she is going to be, in a sense, a prisoner of the state of Maryland, but serve that, I can only presume, at the jail up in Clarksburg.
The fact that he called Karen a prisoner, that put a lot into perspective, right? So them saying that Karen looked back at Ray and said, God's got you, God's take care of you, I love you. Like those were her words to him before they took her away. And I wonder what was she feeling at that time, right? And she's going to be somewhere in Maryland, jail or prison, I don't know, but as of this moment, Karen is in custody and behind bars. This is so sad. Let's keep going.
A little bit more. And Bob, we were just curious as to, the proceeding itself, what played out in court, how many people were in there, who was it that may have made a statement on her behalf at the hearing, and if any of her castmates were in the courtroom.
Yeah, Steve, one of her castmates, the daughter of Chuck Brown, was there. I spoke to her on the way up. She did not testify. The only person who actually testified besides Karen Hugher was her husband, Raymond, who, I've got tons of notes, so I'm not going to try to read them here, but I will just kind of paraphrase, just saying that, she was a good person, worked hard in recent weeks to try to make good on what happened in March of last year.
So they went on to say that there was a lot of people in their courtroom. He said it was very big and it was full. But who is Chuck Brown and who is his daughter, right? And only Ray said something, and he talked about everything she's been doing up until this point, trying to make herself look better, feel better in the court of law. But now we're going to get into what did Karen have to say? Because I think this was maybe her throwing herself at the foot of the jury and the judge, because she really tried to make herself sound like she really was putting forth what she needed to put forth and do what she would need to do to stay out of prison.
Karen Hugher herself, before the sentencing, told the judge she was sorry, that this was a wake-up call, that she was going to try to work hard on her sobriety, attend AA meetings for the rest of her life, and be an advocate for, promoting people not to drink and drive. The state had asked for 2 years of incarceration, suspending all but 6 months. But Judge Terrence McGann, he listened and seemed open to the arguments that Ms. Hugher's attorney was making, but at the end basically laid down the law. He blasted the guidelines that the state and the judicial system here are kind of operating under. Thinking that the punishment should have been more. They were very careful. Someone at one point was blogging on Reddit, so they told everybody, you've got to shut off your phones. I didn't turn mine off. I made sure it was silent. So that's when, as soon as the judge said, I'm not going to follow the state's recommendation, I'll sentence you to 2 years in incarceration, suspending all but 1 year. That the state was looking for 6 months in jail. He said, no, it's going to be a year. He said, you've had 4 offenses in the last 17 years. What are we waiting for the 5th?
You know what? I'm not shocked. The judge wanted more time, actually. I think that's what Bob said. He wanted more time. But like he said, you just gonna wait for the 5th? Like, you've done this 3 times already. and they had taken it down to reckless driving. Karen had not learned her lesson. Karen was like, I'll beat this. That's why she went to trial. But the fact that she didn't understand that people are going to look at this as you've done this 3 times, you've endangered yourself and other people 3 times. This is a 4th, and now we have video. And not only do we have video, but we have video and people's comments, opinions, how they see this. Yeah, she was going to do some jail time. Absolutely. Karen should have known that, because she really could have hurt herself and others. Let's keep going.
What else was imposed? And there's something like $2,900 in fines and 5 years of probation once she serves a year in jail or prison. They were talking about her serving her time behind bars here in Montgomery County, but that after she gets out after 1 year, she'll not be able to drive a car at all for another year. And then when she is allowed, obviously not to drive after drinking alcohol, and that she'll need an interlock device.
Let's get into the very end, and we're going to wrap this up. Let's go.
As Real Housewives of Potomac star the Grande Dame sentenced to 1 year in prison. It was a 2-year sentence for Karen Hugher, 1 year suspended. As Bob mentioned, after that, another year of not driving, a 5-year probation at the end of that sentence as well. So big news coming out of the Montgomery County courtroom.
Y'all, I really hate this for Karen. I really hate this. And I don't know where she could be mentally at this point. But as bad as this is, the fact that she has to sit down and face Karen is going to be 10 times worse. Because if she really allows herself to be in this moment, she's going to have to see all the things that she's done wrong. I really hope Karen is apologetic and takes accountability. And I hope she comes out a different person, right? Different than that lady that was on that video on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. That Karen should not come back, right? But I will say this, and I told them this on live. I don't care what you're going through today. You're not in custody. So don't worry about whatever somebody has. If you don't have it, just keep living your life positive and free. It's your girl, Millie Chun. I'll talk to y'all later, and I'll see y'all for the live this evening. Bye, y'all.